Hello and welcome to day 5 of my 7-day chakra aligned to your divine energy. So today we are going to be working on the throat chakra. So throat chakra is blue. So to align with your throat chakra, there are many things that you can do. So we're going to go through that today. We're going to go when your throat chakra is under, how you know when it's over, how to balance it, and then how it shows up physically, and what are the things that we can do to balance that. So as always, we're going to transmute our energy. So you can use a sage. This is dried sage, which helps remove any negative energies in your space. Just going to light one. If you don't have sage, you can use bay leaves as well. And I like to have candles burning as well. While I do this, I make it like a little sacred place for myself. So please remove all energies that do not serve my highest good and transmute them into love into the universe. Thank you. Okay, so let's do our body transmutation, and we're going to work on the throat chakra. So what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in. We're going to breathe into the throat. What we're going to do is I want you to sigh, and I want you to let it out. I want you to wake it up. Like, let's get the energy moving in the throat chakra. You know what? We're going to do it different today. We're not going to breathe into it. We are going to sing. Yeah, sing. I've never sung on a live or publicly, but let's do it. So we're just going to go la. Breathe in, deep into the belly. La. Push it out. Push the air out when you do it. Get it in there. You can go higher. You can go lower. Whatever frequency you feel, whichever tone is good for you. But I want you to sing it. In deep. La. If you can hear the difference from the first one to that one, it's more open. One more time. La. Great way to wake up the throat chakra, and you can do that anytime that you feel stuck. It is a quick way, or you can breathe into that area and then breathe out and just feel it sigh, because sometimes we might be somewhere where we actually can't. You just do it in your car with the windows up. So when your throat chakra is underactive, suppressed feelings. So those feelings are going to stay in you if you don't express them, and they're going to continue to circulate in your body. Circulate in the mind, in the body, because you're keeping it in. You need to get it out. Fear of expression. Fear of offending others. Because we actually don't know how to say, like, we don't know our boundaries, and we're not in our personal power, which means that we feel if we say something and it offends someone, that it's our fault. When actually, that's their trigger, that's their difference of opinion, and that's okay. But, you know, a lot of us are being taught not to say things to upset other people, but we're upsetting ourselves. Shyness, weak voice, and poor rhythm. So that's when it's under. That's when it's like you're under, like, think like down, when you're down. When you're over and you're like to the other extreme, excessive talking, stuttering, inability to listen, gossiping, loud or dominating voice, and tendency to interrupt. So you want to be heard. You're like, I need to be heard. I want to be heard at any expense. And it's just constantly talking and not allowing other people, not listening. It's also responding, like people don't listen to understand, people listen to respond. So that's another thing. When we're listening, we're like, oh yeah, but we just respond instead of going, okay, well, I understand. Sometimes we don't need to, well, I understand. Sometimes we don't need to actually respond to something. It's like, that's okay. That's your opinion. So that's over. So when we're balanced, we're good listeners, communicates easily, clearly and effectively, lives creatively, speaks with confidence, sings well, good sense of timing, rhythm, expresses self freely, comfortable with body language. And that's really powerful, because sometimes it's like when someone's body language, is, we can, if we are over or under, we really read body language as another way to really identify with being out. So physical problems show up with nasal area, teeth or gums, irritated sinuses, jaw pain, disorders of the throat, ears, disorders of throat, ears, voice or neck, ailments with esophagus and tonsils. Why are you so scared to express your feelings? Is it because you don't know how to respond? You don't know how to react? You don't want to upset other people? But when you come from this beautiful heart, how can what you say here, when you speak with love, upset other people? When you understand your individuality, that you are not like everybody. There is nobody out there that is you. No one's going to have the same opinions, beliefs, everything like you. You're going to meet people and be in situations and circumstances where you're going to say things that trigger people. That's your job. Our job is to actually trigger people, and we don't like it because it makes us feel uncomfortable. But you know what's more uncomfortable? Holding it in and making yourself uncomfortable to make other people comfortable. Your voice needs to be heard. And I've done a lot on my throat chakra this year. My throat chakra has been closed for a long time. And I have this saying, I will stand up for what's right, even if my voice shakes, even if I have to stand alone. And in doing that, and in sharing with love, that the things need to be brought to the light, that things need to be spoken about, that things need to be sorted. It has allowed me to learn more about myself, to understand why, to understand why I would never confront anyone or actually have these conversations, because I didn't know how to manage the feelings behind what my throat was saying. But when I was coming from love, when I'm like, well, there's no ill intent, there's no maliciousness in what it is that I'm saying. And if people can't understand that, then they're not your people. We surround ourselves with people that keep us safe. But in the same sense, it also keeps us where we are and not growing. So, what is it that you need to say? And can you say it with love? So when you see here that when we work with the root chakra, we're balancing and grounding ourselves. Our sacral chakra is connecting us to somebody. Our personal power is creating those boundaries so we can open our heart, so we can speak with love. Everything is connected. So speaking your truth, speaking your truth, speaking from your heart. And it is going to upset people. It is going to trigger people. It is going to aggravate them. But when you come from a place of love, how can what you say be wrong? There is no wrong. There is growth, and there is learning and love. So where could you work on the skill of communication? Where do you kind of buckle? Where do you struggle? And I know, like I've mentioned, I've struggled for a long time with communication. But if you were to remove the feeling, so let's go back to a time when you had a confrontation. It didn't make you feel good, you know, they caught you off guard, or maybe they didn't, or, you know, you're just trying to have a conversation with someone and then they got triggered, or they came at you and it wasn't what you actually thought in your head and you were taken off guard. And it was from that moment that you were like, well, I don't ever want to be in that situation again. So then you shrink and you closed your throat chakra. Or now you're open and now you're like, no one's going to talk to me like that again. I'm not going to put myself in that position. I'm not going to allow anybody to come in and do that. So we're either going to shrink or we're going to expand so much that we don't allow any of that in. But this is no way to live. We need to come here. So think about those situations and say, what did I learn from that? Was I emotional? Did I have my emotion in there? Who am I? Do I speak from love? Then I have nothing to worry about when I'm speaking to someone. Am I listening to what they're actually saying? Because sometimes we're actually not listening to what they're saying. We're only hearing. There's a difference between hearing what someone's saying, actually listening to them. It's like, yeah, I heard you, but blah, 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 because my feelings are important, because of da, 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 da. What I've learned is that if you really want to be able to communicate effectively to people, you're both going to be heard, but if you lack the effective communication skills, it's when we want to be heard first. And I've always wanted to be like that. Like, yeah, he's got to hear me. But then I'm like, well, if I make them feel that they've been heard, then they're going to listen to me. And it's not faking listening to them. I just sit there and I go, okay, well, what is this person actually saying to me? Not how I'm interpreting it. What are they saying to me and how would I like to respond? I want to respond from calmness. I want to respond from understanding. I want to respond from compassion, because that's what I want in return. So if this person feels heard, see, throat chakra, if this person feels heard, if I say, I understand what you're saying. I'm hearing what you're saying. You're saying this and it's making you feel like this, and I can see that and I can hear that. But how I feel and what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing is this. And then you've got somebody who's got their guard down and you've got your guard down, and you can actually talk about it. We need to speak with more love. We need to speak with more understanding, because there's so many miscommunications out there, because we interpret the information based on the things that have happened to us in life. But if you no longer want to keep having the same things show up in your life, we've got to do something different. You've got to start somewhere. And it's uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable having these conversations if you're not used to having them. Some people it's easy, some people it's not. But it's really just honoring yourself. Honoring yourself, because I am you and you are me. In this whole entire universe, we are one of the same. So we want to respect ourselves and respect others. We want to be heard. And you should be heard. You have a voice. You have been given this beautiful piece in your soul, which is your soul mission. This requires you to express that. Express your dreams. Express your desires. Express all that you are. Express your love. Maybe you don't express love enough. I always say to my sister and my brother, every time I get off the phone, and my best friends, and my hubby, every time we get off the phone, even if it's just a quick phone call, I always say, okay, love you, bye. All the time. Before we go to sleep, I love you. When you wake up, good morning. Give a kiss, I love you. Expressing love, it's not easy for everyone. But they're little ways that you can start expressing that and knowing that there is always love that we can share. What about a beautiful compliment, a genuine compliment to someone? Or when I call people on the phone, I'm like, hello, I'll ring somewhere. It doesn't matter where. Could be electricity company or something. Like, hello, and they're like, hello, blah, 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 blah. How can I help you? And I'm like, how are you today? And they're like, oh, I'm good, thank you. Like, and they're like, how are you? I'm like, yeah, I'm fabulous, thanks. And then I talk to them, and then I just say to them, I hope you have an amazing day, because your voice is so powerful. Your words are so powerful. Your tongue is the strongest muscle in your body. What you say will stay with someone for the rest of their lives. What words have been spoken to you when you were younger that have stayed with you to today? What words have you spoken to other people and you know that it still affects them to this day? I know that I have said something to someone I love that stayed with them for their whole lives, and it wasn't meant in the way that it was said, but we can't control that. So ensure that every time words leave those beautiful lips of yours, that they are in service of someone and that they are full of love. We can change the world with our voice. We can change the world with lifting each other up and sharing love and kindness. So with the throat chakra, eat all things that are blue, which we don't have much blue stuff. So it's eating blueberries, plums, dark chocolates, and anything else blue. I don't think there's much else. Plums, figs, you can eat those as well. So just sing, express yourself. Express yourself. Share with people what you love about them. Lift your voice. Listen to people. Be the things that you want for other people, but be that energy to receive that back. Because you can't be a good giver if you're not a good receiver. It's the law. It's the law of attraction. It's the law. So if you feel like you're giving all the time, but you're blocking the receiving and feel like you don't get anything, that's me. I've really worked on my receiving. So just be, love, be you. Because I feel like for myself that there's a tune to your life, okay? Whatever the tune is, right? But my tune was, I was a yes person, and I would just go along with friends and stuff like that and just be who I thought I should be, because I didn't feel confident enough to speak up about things or talk about things or anything like that. So the old Renee had A, B, C, D. So I brought in all these people, right? So I've got all these people in my life because they're all A, B, C, Ds too, right? But then I've done years of healing, lots of healing to break down a lot of things. So my tune is now different. My tune is twinkle, twinkle, little star, right? All my ABC people over here are like, no, what is going on? This is not you. I don't like this information you're sharing. Like, da 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 da. I don't know you anymore. Blah blah. It's like, but that's because that's who I was comfortable being. But now I'm comfortable with Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and not many of those people came over, because this is the real me. They don't know me like this, and that's okay. I wasn't pretending to be somebody I wasn't. Like, I was those people. I just didn't let certain parts of me out. So now I'm over here with Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and straight away it was like this pull back between the two. It was like, oh, do I go back? Do I stay here? Do I close my voice? Do I stay here? Do I be it big and stay or stay here? And I chose this path, Twinkle Twinkle. It was scary at first, but I can tell you that I have attracted in hundreds of like-minded people, new connections of people who are on this same path as me, who have that same light in their soul as me, who get me, that I get to be all these things that are me. And that's the thing. Are you singing the tune to your own song? Are you dancing to the rhythm of your soul and what that is telling you? Because when you truly be you and you say what you need to say with love, people are going to fall off because they don't know that you. They don't know that you. Thank them for the lessons and the friendships. So to balance your throat chakra as well, you can do the throat chakra meditation that's below, or sing affirmations, words of affirmation, love, singing. An affirmation for the throat is, I am speaking clearly and truthfully with grace and ease. I thank you so much for being here today. Please subscribe, share with your friends, family, your network, because we are a single drop, but together we are an ocean. And now is the most important time as we come to the end of 2020 vision to really help people raise their vibration. This is not just about chakras, this is about energy. This is for everybody who is needing to shift into the incredible soul that they are. And they don't need permission to do that. They just need to know how. Have the most magical, blessed day. I love you all. Thank you for being here.